Explorer with Intuitive Dreams, and welcome to a channeled message. We're working with Archangel Micheal, and he wants to talk about the spiritual phenomena happening all over the internet, where people are waking up, they are getting in tune with their psychic abilities, intuitive gifts, and then wanting to dabble in different areas such as witchcraft and things of that nature. So we're just asking the guardian angels to come in now, place us in a protective shield of light, cleansing and clearing everyone watching, blessing everyone watching. Millions of angels are going to everyone watching right now, helping them with what they need. And now Micheal is coming in, and he said for you to close your eyes. We're going to focus on Micheal's name. He's stepping into our energy right now. And he said, whatever is troubling you, I am able to help. But remember that you have the power. On this earth plane, we have the duality of the light and dark, which it can play with your mind and make you think you're powerless, or you need to do certain rituals or spells or magic to get effects that you can naturally do with your own spiritual abilities. You don't need anyone else to tell you what to do or how to do it. Micheal is saying the easiest way to get in tune with yourself is to go within. That meditation is often difficult for people, but he's saying that's the number one way, and to just talk with your guardian angels, and it's not important if you know their names or not. You just specify my guardian angels, Archangel Micheal, and then just go from there. Micheal is saying that automatic writing with your angels every day is important, and he really says there's lots of, think of it like a smorgasbord. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything is out there and within reach. Now, he wants to go into the phenomenon that's happening where there's readers all over the internet now. Everyone's a spiritual life coach, or the spiritual philosophers that are just saying things about different areas that help people to work through what's happening to their mental faculties or their spiritual faculties. Now, Micheal is saying that he wants you to remember that everyone carries a frequency, and to pay attention. Do they make you feel good, or do you feel like you're addicted or hooked in? If you feel addicted or hooked in, that means they're doing some spiritual work to what they're saying or doing to pull you in. Those are the people you want to go in the opposite direction of, because they're trying to manipulate others. If you get on their page and it just feels warm and you feel good, they're just sharing their energy with you. Remember that. Now, he's saying that there's a lot of people where, people want to make money. These are times where people are struggling. And he's saying it's natural for people, okay, I can use my abilities. I could do readings for people. There's a difference between being called to do it and people being opportunistic, where they are like, okay, I'm going to work on my psychic abilities so then I can make a lot of money and get rich and all this type of stuff, okay? And he's saying that with those types of people, it doesn't work out well, because they're not naturally called to it. So they could open the doorway in themselves and they can't close it back down, And he's saying that's where the trouble can often happen. And if you try to push or force your way and move your abilities to move faster than what they can, you can hook into things that aren't helpful and can be harmful. Now, Micheal is saying that this whole journey of self-expansion, which, learning about yourself, opening your abilities, is a gift that should be done naturally. But if you're guided to go to a teacher or something like that to help you to grow it, then by all means do that. But if you're trying to force or push it so that you can be a famous medium, or that you can make a lot of money just reading cards, there's going to be some side effects from it, because there's a lot of spiritual work that needs to be done ahead of time, which could often be that you're working on healing from your lifetime. You're cleaning out the emotional closet, so you have an empty space in you where spirit can come in and you can hear the messages clearer and things like that. There's a lot of other deep work going on. And now he's saying with witchcraft, you know, like I'll tell you, for me, I love Harry Potter. I love all that type of stuff. It's just intriguing to me. But Micheal is saying that witchcraft is often something of the ego. You want to be special. You want to be different. You have some leverage over somebody else and they're here. You want to feel powerful. And Micheal is saying that he's not putting that down like everyone should stop, but he wants you to think about what type of witchcraft are you practicing, and is it something that's going to lift others up, or is it bringing others down? And Micheal is saying that there is this law of checks and balances, where if you do enough, you put out enough negative energy, it's going to come back to you. If you put out enough positive energy, that will also come back to you. So he said, when you're practicing, are you working in the light or are you working in the dark? You know, he's saying that there's a lot of people, he wants me to talk about my own experiences now. There's starting to become a backlash from everybody running in and trying to do witchcraft and other types of practices, where they have all these negative stuff after them. It's harassing them. They're getting terrified in their dreams. They can't sleep at night. Stuff is really bothering them. Or it may be they're oblivious, okay? They're doing all the stuff, but everybody in their life it's horrible. The people closest to them are being affected. And Micheal is saying that you really need to be careful what you decide to connect to. He said that you don't need to be a witch or do rituals to achieve goals or to bring abundance to yourself. It's all in the mind. It's all about, he said, law of attraction would be better for people, because law of attraction essentially is witchcraft, because you're just focusing on what you want. You're bringing that in all the time, but you don't need to do all the tools or even work with anyone else. You know, you don't have to do the spells and all that to get the same effect, which could be faster. And what I get from Micheal is that the angels are very busy right now because of people playing with stuff they don't understand fully. And they throw themselves into something. Like some of these gods, these goddesses are not in the light, and that they can feed off of these people's struggle. So if you notice, for example, you start working with a certain goddess and your life is good, and then it gets ready where you're going to get your outcome and your goal, and you're like, thank you, goddess, blah, blah, blah. And then everything crashes. It's because that god or goddess wants to keep you in struggling, so you keep coming back. Because if you get better, you won't need them as much. Where that's why, I'll just tell you my own opinion, why I like working with angels is because they want you to get better so you're not as dependent on them. So what I've learned is that in the beginning, I was completely dependent on them for my protection and safety. And then as I got older, they taught me more. I got more wise. I got more, they started teaching me all these skills to help myself. So then I still talk to them every day. I still work with them every day. But now it's like I'm stepping into my own self-empowerment, that I'm not dependent on some god or some goddess or something like that. And again, not all of them are bad. Like, there's a lot of good beings that want to help people. It's all on what you focus in on. You know, if you work with a god or goddess and they're kind of neutral, so they do good things to help people and they do bad things, you know, to help someone to hurt another person, then you know, okay, that's not a god or goddess I want to work with. I want someone that's consistently on the level that works for me. You know, like, are they consistently in the light? You know, and so there's a lot of people that are struggling right now. Like, I'm having an outpour of people who have played with things they don't understand, or they get to a certain level and they're like, oh wow, I'm in too deep. I got this bothering me. I got that bothering me. I don't feel safe. And it sometimes it takes for us to get to that point so we can have a deeper spiritual awakening and then realize, okay, what we are doing is not benefiting us. We need to step outside of it. And there's a lot of people that they told me that after they've played around with certain things that they can't get help. Nobody wants to help them. And you know what that is because if you go and somebody's connected to all this negative stuff and then you go and read them, you could potentially become in contact with what is bothering these people, and then it could infect you and bother you, if you don't have the right support or protection. Now, what I get is that Michael is saying that people need to take responsibility for where they've gotten themselves, that people can help to alleviate or get rid of entities and stuff around the person, but if they don't step into their own spiritual power or get training, about protection or things of that nature, that stuff will just keep coming back, and the fight of good and evil will just persist. And Michael is saying that you can rise above that we're here to rise above it. We're here to see the good and bad sides of ourselves. We're here to love ourselves no matter what, and then move beyond that to our highest evolution. That we love all parts of ourselves, okay? And sometimes it's reflected in the ugliness of the world. And we're seeing that, and it's helping us to realize what we will and won't accept in our lives anymore are our communities. Now, I'm going to give you guys one of my prayers. So let's go ahead and do this one. This is from, I think it's from Akashic Records book that I made. Preparation prayers. Now this one I would give to people before doing a reading, but you could do this every day or listen to it every day, okay? I now call on Archangel Micheal, Raphael, and Divine Angels of Light. Please vacuum out my physical body, energy fields, meridian points, chakras of all energy that is not mine. This includes lower energies, entities, attachments, cut all negative ties and cords, psychic hooks or daggers, and fear-based energy. Please close all doorways to other dimensions, gateways, or portals that are not of love and light. When you are finished, replace that energy with healing white light and frequencies that guide, protect, and nurture my energy, body, mind, and soul. Thank you for your divine protection and help. I now ascend to the highest vibration to align with my angels, teachers, guides, and loved ones. Please help me to serve others in a way that serves me as well. Please help me to say things in a way that they will understand and for the greatest good. I ask my angels, guides, higher self, and creator to guide and cleanse my thoughts. Please ground me, balance, align, heal, open, strengthen, clear my chakras, prepare me for the work ahead. I give permission for the angels of love and light to work on what is needed right now. So just take a moment, close your eyes, feel the angels working on you. I'm allowing this to happen. And what I'm getting also, Michael is saying, if you're one of these people that you realize, hey, I'm getting myself in too deep, I can't control my abilities, I don't know what's happening to me, things are bothering me, then you want to really just stop talking to anything, stop working with people, step out of groups, maybe that are, sometimes we could be in, like, I've had a lot of people that were in covenants with other witches, and then they have all this negative stuff on them because of maybe somebody in that group is not in the light, and then they kind of, it's like an infection, it spreads to everyone, and then they want help, they want to be cleared and cleansed from it. And what I get, Michael is saying that you need to just focus on your self-care, being around the right people, and also reaching out to the right teachers, utilizing prayers and techniques. Michael is saying that oftentimes people play with this stuff and they're like, I'm just going to get out of it. And then they don't continue doing things that they learned. So then that allows more negative forces to come and bother them. If they would continue to do protection, continue to work on their spiritual gifts, they would see that, okay, this is actually a blessing and I'm stronger than what I've been conditioned to believe, or these things want me to think they're more powerful than me. You know, Michael is saying that it is important to work with archangels to help with you. You want to really just get into letting go of your ties and connections with that covenant or with that space, those people you were working with, those beings. So you could probably work on releasing vows and contracts. You can work on self-forgiveness, self-punishment. You can work on different things within you and maintaining, okay, this is your life now. Okay, you opened a door. You can't just walk away and then this stuff won't bother you. You know, it's more of, you got to continue. Okay, I'm stepping into my own power now. I'm focusing on my spirit team, not all this stuff outside of me. My spirit team, my guardian angels, Archangel Michael, and whoever archangels you feel comfortable with. Okay, Michael specializes in clearing people of the connections and ties that they build that maybe are not positive. If you notice that your life keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and you're trying to do all this stuff to make it better, and you're working with these different deities or beings that are not in the light, they will continue to keep you struggling. They feed off of that energy. It's like I was shown in a dream, they get high off of it. It's like a high energy and they just consume it. So the more you can feed them, the worse your life could get. Let me see anything else. Now, when I had experiences, my abilities just opened and I was seeing positive stuff and very frightening things. And the more that I focused on my guardian angels and connecting with them and Michael, I asked Michael, take me to your school tonight of protection. And I would go every night and he would teach me how to like stand up in my own power. You know, there's a lot of good techniques in that. Essentially, Michael is saying you can hire somebody to clear out negativity and fear around you, but if you're not grounded and strong in your own abilities, then there's a potential stuff could come back. So it's like you need to work on yourself, your strength, and he's saying that if you have the light of God and the angels behind you, like it gets to a point where, you know, you are able to stand in your strength and feel comfortable with it and navigate your gifts in a better way. Okay. When I got to a point where I had stuff messing with me, I had things bothering me, stuff would mess with me when I was sleeping, you know, all these types of things. And I had a teacher who helped me. He kind of cleared all that off of me. But then he was like, now the real work starts. You have to do your part. You have to start learning about your abilities and the powers that you have, the internal gifts that everybody has. You have to learn how to use it for self-preservation. This is a part of your life. You can't just, oh, he cleared me, now I'm done and I can live a regular life again. No, you woke that stuff up. And now it's like you have to learn how to use it to help yourself for the greatest good. It could be the best gift in the world, or you could see it as your own curse, that you woke this stuff up inside of you and you just want it to go away. It never goes away, is what Michael says. He says that you can try to shut it out, but ultimately stuff will still bother you. Things will still come around. It may be that you're not fully aware of what's going on around you after, you know, you try to shut it out. Michael is saying it's better for people where they join these groups or they start working in this capacity with their intuition for them to take charge of it. Okay? Because you don't want to just go to sleep and then somebody else is messing with you and you have no power over it. Okay? Alrighty then, I think that's everything. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. So I hope this made sense for you. What I get, Michael's overall message is saying, don't mess with stuff you don't understand. And, you know, like, people are more drawn to dark stuff right now because it's exciting. It's a mystery. And I wondered that myself. I'm like, you know, when I was younger, I was drawn into horror movies and all this type of crazy stuff and that. And he said, it's because you came from the light. And so now there's a stronger curiosity about the dark forces and stuff like that because you haven't really encountered it that much. So he said, think about that. That's why people are more drawn to, oh, it's more mysterious. You'll get millions of views because it's dark stuff versus light, because people they're from the light. You come from the light to have a life here. And he said it's natural, but it gets to a point where you need to rise above that and think, okay, I don't need to be in the struggle anymore. I want to be something better. I want to be my true higher self. And that's where utilizing your spiritual abilities comes in. Okay? It'll help you to know who's trustworthy, who's not, who has your back, is something going to happen. You know, those are good gifts to have versus stuff where stuff is bothering you and then you can't even use your gifts. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stop here and take care.